Peter Michaels.
Patrick Bateman.
Back again for the first time in, well, we haven't seen each other in like a month, right?
Episode 21.
Mm-hmm.
Last time was 3 weeks ago?
Was it?
Has it been a month? It's been 3 weeks. Well, I guess you were gone for two.
No,
I was
I
gone for
think-
one. Three
yeah.
for sure.
Anyways, you were away in Ontario for a week or so. I was in Ontario for 2 weeks after that. Did a little summer vacations on either end.
And then I camped for a week.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta,
yeah.
if I'm like distracted by scratching, were the wasps bad in Ontario?
Yeah, but not like they didn't bug me.
Okay.
You got
Alberta
bit,
here is
right?
like those little bastards are supposed to, like, if you leave them alone, they leave you alone.
No.
I was minding my own business. I was all of a sudden just
Yeah.
right on the top of the calf, and this is almost a week later.
Yeah, about
And
a
I'm
month
still-
before my trip, I think I was talking to my uncle on the phone just in the front yard or driveway or whatever at my place, and I knew there's nests on the property. I'd already blasted a couple down by my front door, and I'm talking to him on the phone, and then all of a sudden, just this searing pain on my ankle, and it took me by surprise. I had no idea what it was. So I'm mid-conversations with him and then just screaming, "Oh, fuck!" And sure enough, it's, latched onto my ankle, and yeah, it hurt. But you got it bad. You got like a reaction, right?
I actually got a reaction. Like, there's a circumference of about 3 inches around this thing, and it's all just rock hard.
Still.
Like,
A
we're
week
talking. This
later.
is almost a week later.
Oh, yeah.
Did I ever tell you the time that I was chopping into a piece of wood that had a wasp nest they had built into it?
That sounds terrible.
It was the classic. I had probably about 10 wasps fly up my shorts, up my arm sleeves. I went flying into the house, clothes going everywhere.
Into the house.
I couldn't get naked fast enough. Well, I wasn't going to do it out in the yard. I flying in. My wife was like, "What the hell are you?" And I'm like, just clothes gone. I was naked within about 15 seconds. I got 7 stings off of that. That was
That's
not
rough.
fun. That was not fun.
I on my trip to Toronto, I went to my buddy's farm, and he does a little beekeeping on the side.
Oh.
Now, I don't know anything about beekeeping. The basics. Have you ever had a hive before?
Never.
So he's got, I wanted to say he probably had 6 or 7 hives. Some of them were about as tall as you, some of them half the size. He was like, "Yeah, are you afraid of bees?" I was like, "Well, not like afraid of bees, but I don't care for bees. So I guess I'm kind of afraid of bees." And he was like, "Yeah, come check this out." And he just walks straight up to it. No, none of that. Didn't have the big outfit.
No hazmat suits. No big
no
netting.
big suit, the smoke, the machine that pumps out the smoke or whatever to make them sleepy.
Yeah.
No, he just, stands next to the beehives, just him and the bees. They don't bother him. So maybe it's bees that mentality works for, of like, if you don't bother them, they won't bother you.
I thought it was the same with wasps, but not.
Maybe, but what's going on? We've got keep reading about it. Alberta has 1 million wasps this year. What's going on?
It's like that every year. Especially in August is
I
bad.
think statistically it's worse this year, though.
Well,
Weren't they saying?
they've been getting it on.
Apparently, leaving them alone. Maybe it's
Wasp
because of that
procreation.
no mow May. We already talked about no mow May.
There's no mow May.
Yeah, it was an initiative here in Red Deer, all over, where you are not just don't mow your lawn, don't do the garden for the entire month of May, because we need to build this environment, this horticultural paradise for the bees.
Oh, okay.
You didn't hear about this?
No.
You're
I know
talking
the
about
bees
goats eating the grass, mowing the lawn. Yeah, no mow May. Don't.
See, that's about getting rid of the grass.
Yeah,
I don't care
exactly.
if they want the grass to grow.
Don't mow the grass for all of May. Don't do any weeding or gardening, and let the bees do what they need to do, and then bring the goats in June.
Yeah, my wife doesn't. No, she doesn't subscribe to that line of thinking.
One of
at
these
all.
days, you'll be no mow Mayin. I love that term, though. I gotta say.
No mow mayo.
No mow May.
I need mayo.
So yeah, you were in. It's funny. You went to Ontario to primarily go to London, Ontario.
Yeah.
Which is not like, unless you have a very specific reason, which you did. I don't think most people are just, yeah, we're going to visit London, Ontario for a few days.
Well, there's so many people going to school there. You would think a lot of people are probably going to visit,
Pick up
students,
and leave.
I guess. Sure.
London's a cool town. I lived there for 8 months or whatever. It's pretty sweet. Did you were there for 3 or 4 nights, or
2.
Oh, okay. We got out.
But they did have, I forget what the name of the park was, but there was like a little pond area. You could go and walk around this big pond.
Okay.
And there was all the lily pads, so there's a little walkout that you can go and look, and so we're kind of looking out over the water. And I'm like, holy shit, is that a turtle? Like, the turtle's just floating around in this thing, which you don't see out here.
That's pretty cool.
I thought that was
I didn't
all right.
realize that. You don't see turtles here.
You don't see turtles here.
And then you did a little tourist. You went to Niagara?
We got touristy in Niagara.
Did you go on
for a little bit.
the Maid of the Mist?
Did not go on the Maid of the Mist,
okay.
which everybody was bitching at me because I'm like, it's a waterfall.
Niagara's such a weird town. Like, did you walk around?
Oh, yeah.
It's bizarre, right?
And it's such a tourist trap.
Like, one of the biggest tourist traps in the country, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. You've got, like, the Ripley's Museum is there. I don't know, a bunch of, like, memorabilia. Like, it's just, it's a
The
weird
Burger
place.
King with the big Frankenstein.
You got a
thing on
TGI
it.
Fridays. It's, like,
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
be the only TGIs in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting town. But the falls are pretty cool.
I mean, it's whatever. It's cool. You look at it, it's waterfall. If we did the Maid of the Mist and there's tours that go down, like there's tunnels underneath there.
Yeah, I don't know about... Yeah, and I haven't done it since I was a little kid, but sure.
Okay. Anyways, I was bitching about how it's like whatever. You look at the falls for 5 minutes and you're good. What more is there to do? And everybody's like, oh well, if you didn't do the Maid of the Mist, and if you didn't do the tunnels, and if you didn't
Tunnels. I'm not sure. I don't know
Some
what
kind
the
of
tunnels
tunnels
are.
out there.
I do know that. Did you look over to the American side of the falls?
yes,
We're pretty lucky.
yeah, but
have
the
the nice
American
side of the
side of the
falls.
falls was way busier the day I was there.
Well,
like because they all have those blue raincoats on or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like you look across, and there's just all these ants of like thousands of these blue coats just all.
Yeah. You could have
lined up.
gotten a blue coat.
I should have went and got a blue coat.
So you did Niagara. Did you go into Toronto at all?
We did do Toronto, so we did Eaton Centre.
Ooh, fancy. How
Yeah.
long did you spend in there?
Well, I was with a 16-year-old or 17-year-old daughter, so quite a lot more time than I'd wanted to.
So, like, there's a lot going on in there.
There is.
We went in there too. We were probably in there for about 2 hours, mostly
Okay.
just walking around, getting some exercise.
I think we did. Yeah, we were probably there closer to 3.
I was disappointed because I went to the square specifically to try to find. I was hoping that there would be a billboard of an artist that we've had on the stage.
Yeah.
Because I swear, like,
Well,
I don't know, 5 or 6 of our guests so far have had those giant billboards since we started the show.
I think we were there about a week after the Beaches
Right.
had filmed all their stuff there,
Yeah.
and I thought
Yeah.
there would be something. No, I can't even remember what any of those big billboards were.
No,
So I don't. Do they just put them up on like Fridays when it's a new music Friday?
It might be. But also I'm sure the bands get notified that, hey, it's going to be up here for these hours or whatever. So
Yeah. So we had our other big disappointment in Toronto. So my youngest son, who's 14, did really, really well in school this year. So we said we're going to go out to get your brother in
London.
whatever. Yep, London. And that his reward for doing so well in school is going to be the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So we're all excited. We're getting ready to go. And then like 3 days before we left, the hall announced, like Ontario opened up a little bit, but the Hockey Hall of Fame said we're going to stay closed for an extra 2 weeks. Like, buddy, I'm sorry. So anyways, we went from Eaton Centre down to the hall. We thought, well, let's just walk
Check it out.
past it.
So you saw
the
the glass cases.
they got the glass
out
cases
front.
with the jerseys
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
front and all that kind of stuff. And so I mean that he was kind of like, I'm like, so let's go to Wayne Gretzky's.
Yeah.
Because there's still some memorabilia there, and it's a hockey thing. So I said, we'll walk down there and we'll have lunch or whatever.
Gretzky's
So,
restaurant.
Gretzky's
which
restaurant.
I think opened up in the 90s or something.
Was it that long ago?
I think so.
Okay.
But
Yeah, it would have been open in the 90s. I was there in the 90s.
yeah,
So we walk. It's about a half an hour walk from
probably. It's not
there.
close to the Hall of
It's
Fame.
Not super close. So he's like done walking, and it started to rain a little bit, and I'm like, okay, we're almost there. So I go to Google Map it because I knew it was close to the Sky Dome, but I couldn't remember exactly where. So I'm Google mapping it, and I'm like, Gretzky's restaurant, and it's like Gretzky's winery pops up, and I'm like, no, it's not a winery. It's like, why is Gretzky's restaurant not showing up?
Permanently closed.
And then I Google it, and yes, it's permanently closed. So he had to have the disappointment of not going to the Hall of Fame.
Man.
Then I drag him and what 14-year-old kid likes walking for a half an hour? Yeah.
Did you get food? Did you eat downtown or
No.
no?
He was pretty much done.
Do you see?
And then we had to walk all the way back to Eaton Centre because we had parked there.
Oh, right. Yes.
And there, so even we're going down like Queen Street, and I'm like, the Much Music Building, and there's this and that. No. It was back to the hotel, and we had whatever restaurant was outside the hotel.
And did you see any music when you were there?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not even a busker.
No.
No buskers.
No, not even. We went through Union.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing.
I don't think there's busking in Union Station.
Not even outside like right across from the York.
I don't
thought I'd
think
seen it
so.
there
'Cause we
before.
stayed at the Fairmont for a night. Yeah, I didn't see any buskers on Front Street there. Saw a couple in Burlington, but
We had talked a little bit. I think the Trues at that time had a show in London the night we left, but it was
Oh,
still
wow.
pretty
yeah.
Yeah, to have a
honestly,
table of 6.
I think the Hockey Hall of Fame with any sort of protocols would be pretty lame because there are actual. Have you been in there before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like there's practical exhibits. Like you can
do your
shoot,
hardest shot.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Be the
Save
goalie
pucks and blah blah blah.
Yeah, sit in the Habs.
Do the
full
commentary.
dressing
You definitely did the commentary,
room. I
didn't
did
you?
not do the commentary.
Really?
No.
You didn't
I know
go
you
into
would
the
think
broadcast booth and.
No, it looked pretty stupid.
Well, no one could see you.
I don't care.
Oh man, that's pretty funny. Well, I'm glad you had a good vacation.
And then you went down, and it was a little bit more of a family reconnect.
Well,
it had been 2 years since you'd been home.
2+ years, far too long. I've never done that before. Hope to never ever do it again. So yeah, hung out most of the time with my mom and my brother in Burlington, which is about a half hour out of Toronto, and then all sorts of stuff. Went up to my buddy's farm. Went into Muskoka to my uncle's cottage, which was really cool because it was boat access only, so you have to take you can't drive to the cottage. It's on an island, so that's kind of a fun experience. Went up to a place called Tobermory, which doesn't matter. It's a pretty cool little cottage.
Sounds cool.
Area. Went for a mad hike. It was a good time. Ate a lot of good food. Too much good food.
And that Muskoka area we accidentally, on our trip when we were leaving from dropping my kid off in London to drive home.
Yeah.
We missed a turn.
Oh my
So
god.
we're supposed to go up by I forget what highway that is that goes up to Sudbury.
Yeah.
And I think it was somewhere around Parry Sound or whatever. We missed it. We missed a turn. I wasn't paying attention, and we ended up in Orillia.
Holy, you guys went out there.
We went way
Oh
out
my
there.
god.
So then we're and the map isn't really showing us exactly where to go. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? We need to head west. So I forget what town it was. We went through Orillia, went a little bit north, and then just found this dinky little road. And we ended up at the, there's a venue out on the lake that a lot of bands play every summer.
Burl's Ive?
Not Burl's Ive.
Not Burl's Ive.
The
Jesus.
Key to Bala.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Is it Bala? Is that the?
I
Anyways,
think.
we see a sign where this Bala. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I've heard of so many bands playing out
Yeah.
there. But we're driving on this small little 2-lane highway that has literally no shoulder.
Yep.
With a trailer behind us and just zigzagging through all that. But it's beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah. No, it's pretty nice up there. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So many lakes. You got to see your big old lakes again.
You have no idea what a lake is until you've been through Ontario.
Yeah, that's true. But no music. I'm surprised you didn't see a single second of music.
Nothing. No, I would have loved to have. I can't even, not even in Niagara. I don't think there was any buskers going.
Just a bunch of clowns.
There's a lot of clowns.
Bunch of clowns.
A lot of clowns.
Yeah, I saw a saxophone playing busker.
But to be fair, Ontario just opened up when we,
Yeah, it's true.
2 days before, or 2 days before we got there.
Yeah.
Is when some of the restrictions had eased up.
I actually had to go buy a new mask because the mask that I took there it wasn't the mask that I've used for the majority of COVID, and it was a little uncomfortable, and I forgot what it was like to wear a mask all the friggin' time. All the time. Anytime you're indoors, you're wearing a mask. And went and got a nice comfy mask and felt great. It was awesome.
Do you do like a beard mask?
No.
Do you
No, I'm okay with a little deformation of the
sticking
beard.
the beard hairs out all over the place?
Absolutely.
All right.
But yeah, I did see a wonderful saxophone player.
Oh.
And then there was this kind of cool reggae band playing by the lake in Burlington, which was fun because it was so hot. There was a lot of just walking around outside getting ice cream.
And how big
whatever.
are crowds gathered?
That one was actually pretty big. I mean, the lakefront can get pretty busy with people out and about just walking back and forth. So there were quite a few people there. I mean, nothing wasn't like a concert or anything,
Yeah.
but I'm also very bad at counting people in a crowd.
Well, why would you do it?
I don't know. You seemed all the time. I'll be like, "How many people were at that show?" And you'll be like, "Oh, well, this many numbers."
Yeah, but when you've been to a venue enough times,
Yeah,
you kind
that's
of get
true.
an idea what the capacity is. And
That's true. Well,
seen it,
speaking of being at a venue, there have been some concerts. We have seen some live music.
a couple of shows.
I think we did talk about it, but I saw that for night one of the Don't Call It Comeback Fest at Bose
Right.
about a month ago, which was so Cool.
Shred Kelly.
Shred
at
Kelly
Bose
was a
World,
week, a few
that was
days before that as well.
outdoor show.
But you went and saw Whale and the Wolf this past Saturday,
Whale and the
right?
Wolf this past Saturday. The Dead South were in town while you were gone.
Right. Now, the Whale and the Wolf, important to note because they have a new Side Road session out,
It's unbelievable.
produced by Ryan and Ryley at Communal Creative Studios, and that video is out now on the Bose Barn Stage YouTube channel, so go check that out.
So some stripped down versions of a couple of their, the tunes are just amazing, but when they get them stripped down, it was really cool.
Yeah, so Whale and the Wolf out of Edmonton. Keep an eye out on them and check out that Side Road session online. It was very, very cool. We're looking forward to those having more and more bands in.
More of those to come, hopefully, as everything continues to move along.
And then did you, so you were doing a lot of driving. Did you rent a car when you were there? You didn't drive back.
No, we flew. But we had, Kia, I forget what it was.
Sorrento?
It wasn't a Sorrento. It was, I wasn't even familiar with the name.
Soul?
No. Yeah, it's not going to come to me. It was like this, I don't know, is piss green a color?
Yeah, for sure. Like Gatorade pit, like after you've had some vitamin B12 after a night of drinking?
It wasn't yellow. It wasn't green. It was like a piss green.
Okay.
It was the ugliest color I'd ever seen in my life. But it was the only car the rental company had that would fit 5 of us.
Where did you rent the car?
At the airport at Pearson.
So when we were booking our trip, we wanted to rent a car in Barrie, Ontario, and take it for a few days and then drop it off in Burlington. That's like a 2-hour difference. And they said, oh, you can't, in Ontario, you can't rent a car at this place and drop it off at another. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I've never heard of that in my life.
Who are you dealing with?
So we went to pick up the car. So it ended up that we had to pick it up in Burlington, bring it back, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I was like, so is this a new rule? And what I didn't realize is that pandemic happened. All these rental car companies had to, I think, lay off staff and also sell off a lot of their stock
fleets, sure, yeah,
because they weren't making any money, and then so they can't risk being left without vehicles. So it kind of made sense.
Yeah, and now it makes sense too, because I'm like, when we got there, we had our choice of 2 cars.
Yeah,
like 2. There's only
what was the other car? If that's
cars.
what you chose,
it was a Chevy something.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Anyways, my daughter I'm like, that is the worst color I've ever seen. My daughter's like, yeah, let's get that one. Okay.
Your daughter has some pretty serious taste in cars too.
Oh, she does actually have pretty serious taste in cars.
And now, when you were driving around, you rented a car for what, 4 or 5 days, something like that?
Like that, yeah.
Did you make your family listen to The Road the Stage, your own podcast?
That's a source of contention in my household. I was actually just talking to my son about it today, and we had a potential guest lined up today that my son is very excited about.
Okay.
So I told him that we potentially could have so-and-so on the podcast. Oh, I'd actually listen to that one.
Yeah. No, I talked to a couple people who are like, I can't do it. I'm afraid to.
Afraid?
Yeah.
Like, why afraid?
Because they think it's like cringe.
Like we're bad?
Yeah, tototally. Big time.
Oh.
Big time. But they won't hear this because they're afraid to listen to it.
Fuck them.
I agree.
My kid at least was always like, Dad, I don't have the attention span.
He doesn't listen to any podcasts?
No, 14.
It's just pure music?
Not even, and YouTube.
So you did not force your family to listen. You were driving. I'm assuming it's your choice of the speakers.
Oh, they did get to listen to what I wanted to listen to.
Yeah. So nothing but the White Buffalo.
There's a heavy amount. Have I ever told you the story about my driving with my dad and the White Buffalo?
Yes.
Yeah. So
but you should tell it again.
We're coming home. My parents would winter in Phoenix. So one time I had to go down and pick them up and drive my dad back with his car. With some health problems. And so we left Phoenix, went to the Grand Canyon, and then from there up into Utah. So we're probably in the vehicle for about 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I had nothing but the White Buffalo playing for that entire 6 hours. So God bless my dad that he lasted that long.
Yeah.
But we finally get like either just into Utah or pretty close to Utah, and he just looks over and says, have you got anything else?
It's time for a change, son.
I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. You held in there for about 6 hours.
Oh, I love it.
Do you have any artists that you could listen to for 6 hours?
Yeah, totally. I think so.
Okay. Everybody thinks I'm absolutely nuts, but we even did one. We went to see the White Buffalo in like Billings or Bozeman, somewhere in Montana one time. And it was about a 10-hour drive, and I think we listened exclusively to the White Buffalo pretty much there and back again, almost 20 hours in a vehicle.
But like, is that his entire collection?
Oh,
you 6
go
hours
through
of music?
Oh, and the other thing we did one time too is we took a trip to California, and we left Spokane, Washington. I forget what time in the morning, but my goal was to listen to the entire Beatles catalog,
Jesus,
in chronological order, that whole day worth of driving.
Yeah.
And we made it. We went from like Spokane, Washington to it was somewhere on the southern edge of Oregon, not Eugene. Rose something. Anyways, almost to the end of this. So we drove that whole day, nothing but the Beatles in chronological order.
And you finished it?
We got pretty close. I think we were probably up to the White Album. I think.
So you got to the moment where like you know that they're starting to despise each other and resent each other.
And I didn't want to finish it off.
That's fair. No, I mean 6 hours is that's like 2 Dave Matthews Band concerts. Right. It's like easy. You don't hear the same song twice either. It's beautiful. You should try it sometime.
No.
That's what we should do someday. We should, as part of the Road the Stage, we should take each other to a concert. Like, I'll take you to a Dave concert, and you can take me to some place I'd never set foot in, like a Pearl Jam concert or something.
I still don't understand that. No, I would take you. I'd find a good country show to.
Although, I mean, I've been to country shows.
You have been to a couple of country shows.
I don't despise country.
You despise Pearl Jam?
Can't do it.
All right. Well, then, yeah, Pearl Jam.
Yeah, well, okay. I'll go to a Pearl Jam show, and then you go to a Dave Matthews Band show.
All right.
The thing is, though...
We'll both be bored to tears.
The thing is that I know that I would have an appreciation at the end of the show. And I also know that you would have an appreciation at the end of the show.
So that's actually a good topic of conversation. Has there ever been a band that you've gone to see that you weren't really super into that you thought you'd go see and gain an appreciation? Because I think we're both big enough music fans. We can go see just about anything and have an appreciation for.
That I did gain an appreciation or did not?
That you went, you expected to. Because how many times have you, okay, well, what have we got here?
That was a great segue, Peter Michaels. I don't know. There might be something in here.
Okay, tell us what's in your box. What's this box all about?
So when I was home, I found this lovely Harry Potter soap box. At one point, it contained three soaps, 60 grams each.
What were what's the, I'm not a Harry Potter guy. What's the beer, the butter beer? Were they butter beer
Not
flavor?
a Harry Potter guy.
Huh?
Okay, now, so this contains tickets. It contains concert tickets for probably most, if not all, of the concerts that I went to as a teenager, and then movie tickets. So I took the movie tickets out and some sports tickets as well. This was also, okay, this is, I'm glad that, why the fuck do I have this in my ticket box?
Which is really interesting because we're in Red Deer, and there's not many NHLers from Red Deer, but you found an NHLer from Red Deer.
Like, I opened this at my mom's house a week ago, and I'm going through my tickets, and I find this. First of all, it's a hockey card for a guy named Glenn Wesley for the Boston Bruins. I don't know why I would ever have a Bruins card in my possession. And then my brother, I'm like, oh, why do I have this in here? And I turn around and it says Red Deer. So why is that in there?
Some kind of weird, strange omen.
Who is this guy? Do you know him?
Yeah, Glenn Wesley. He also played for the Hurricanes, Red Deer guy. Yeah.
Do you know him?
Well, I don't know him. Oh, okay. He's been in town. Honestly, I don't think he was in Red Deer a lot through his playing career, but he's been back a few times since he retired.
All right, Peter Michaels.
Solid defenseman.
Let's talk about concert tickets.
I'm excited.
I found some concert tickets. You also have a
So that's so funny. That's every show that you've been to, and this is a baggie full of, like, most of my stubs, maybe?
Yeah.
Not even.
Now, there is a bit of, there's a bit of an age difference here. But,
no, I don't. 3 years? 4 years?
Went
to a lot of shows.
I think I have.
See, that's a crazy thing. I can see you've got a lot of the paper tickets
Yep.
as opposed to the actual cardboard tickets.
The actual stubs. So this may have been the first kind of big boy concert that I ever went to.
So are these in any kind of order? Do you have them?
No, and I didn't want to reorder them because I didn't want to take anything out that I might be embarrassed about.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what your collection looks like. But
those are some embarrassment.
That's
in there
a
for
Monster Jam ticket. We probably don't need that.
Oh, look at that.
Monster Jam 2000. All right.
Where was that at, Monster Jam?
Skydome. Whew. Yeah, it was wild.
Loud?
It was a little much on the ears.
Well,
I remember that. I was 9 years old.
So cavernous, though. I would think that it might absorb. We try that in the Centurium in Red Deer, which holds 8,000 people as opposed to.
So friggin' loud, man. So loud. All right. Okay. Now, I wanted to pull this one out because this one might. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually.
So you did look through a little bit.
No, I just know that this is here.
Okay.
This is probably the first big boy concert, and the ticket is.
Oh yes, we've talked about this one. Yeah.
Very tattered.
Yeah.
But I hope to never lose this one. Unfortunately, it does have like a lot of the pin marks in it because I.
Yep.
Want it on a corkboard, but SAR stock.
Yep. No, that's a good one to
Huge.
be proud of.
Then there's this one. Rain.
Oh yeah, I guarantee there's a couple of those in there.
Did you like Rain? Rain, the
Beatles tribute,
the one that matters.
Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, I took my kids to see them a couple of times. They came through. It seems like they were here every.
Where did you see them?
At the Centurium.
In Red Deer. Okay, in Red Deer. Okay,
yeah, I've seen Rain at least 3 or 4 times.
And you like it?
They put on a good show.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Because again, it's they go through. The Beatles quit touring in 1966, so so much of that catalog was never played live.
Right.
So for them to be in the Sgt. Pepper's garb and play Sgt. Pepper songs live that the Beatles never did.
Okay, so I'm definitely missing a couple here, but we're looking. You said you were going to take me to a country show. I know Big Bad Voodoo Daddy's not a country band, but I think Sugarland is.
Oh God.
And so is Keith Urban.
Okay,
now,
so one of those two is admirable. The other one not so much.
Who?
Keith Urban's he's pretty dreamy.
Dreamy. You don't like Sugarland? Her voice annoys you?
Voice just
talented voice though.
A talented voice, but it's nails on a chalkboard for me.
I think who's that
What
Canadian?
was the one they had the glue, the stuck. Was it stuck like glue?
I don't know anymore. There's a Canadian country guy that the big Canadian country guy opened for them. I think George something.
George Canyon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is he Canadian?
Yep.
All right, so
East Coaster.
There was that. That was obviously memorable. I think Darius Rucker opened for this, the Keith Urban show.
Yeah.
Also. Anyways.
And so why? Why were you at Keith Urban and why were you at Sugarland? What was it? Girl?
So we're gonna look at the rest of these tickets here. So yeah, I'm definitely missing quite a few, but that's okay because there's some memorable ones here. This is one of my favorite concerts of all time. This was Neil Young.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah.
Neil Young in 2008. All right, I don't even know if he was touring. Holy shit, that ticket is $263.
Holy shit.
$250.
And that's with Crazy Horse, or is that just a straight up solo?
Well, he had a big band, so I don't know.
It would have been billed. They would have had Crazy Horse on the ticket.
So 2008, I'm 17 years old. Went with a friend who I went to a lot of concerts with. I was bummed because Neil Young was touring all over North America. On the West Coast, he had Death Cab for Cutie opening. Have I told you this before?
No.
And then on the East Coast, as I remember it anyways, he had Wilco opening.
Oh.
And I didn't know who Wilco was.
Oh.
They killed it. Like, I loved it so much. And then Neil Young came on, obviously plays for 2 hours or whatever, and probably louder than Monster Jam. Like, it was, he played
So it was a fully plugged in.
Does
he do like an 11-minute, like a hurricane?
No, Live and Let Die.
Oh.
Day in the life. Day in the life. He did like a 12, 15-minute version of A Day in the Life, and the whole last 10 minutes was just him beating the shit out of his guitar to the point where every single string had broken.
Yeah.
And then he took the strings in one hand and started beating the shit out of his guitar with the strings. And it was just noise. It was beautiful, scary noise.
And it can't, like, you wouldn't, does he do that every night? Like, is he pulling strings off every night and doing that?
No, I don't know. Maybe he's just feeling it.
Yeah.
Somewhat of a hometown show, I guess. A Toronto show. Second home. Right. Okay. Also, you wanted to ask about experiences that didn't live up to what I was hoping?
Yeah.
It's this one right here. It's Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck.
Well,
Now, I've told you about this before, right?
I think I remember you saying something about Beck. So.
This is a big deal to me. Jeff Beck
was
unbelievable.
Right.
Eric Clapton sucked.
And what year is this?
2010.
Okay.
Sucked.
Well, there's a lot of people that would very much agree with that statement these days.
Have you seen Eric Clapton?
Never seen Clapton.
Don't.
And didn't,
How much was that ticket? How much did we get? Only $70. We were probably sitting pretty far up there. Metallica. This one was pretty cool. First time I missed Blackened.
At ACC.
Lamb of God opened. I was very excited about that.
So that was, what's 2000?
This is Death Magnetic. So this was the center, when they were just like taking over the middle of the arena, which was very cool. I was like, that was such a cool concept.
Lamb of God, and was Helmet on that? Was
I
it
remember
a triple bill? I remember Helmet. I kind of remember Helmet being on that.
I don't remember who opened the open show, like who opened for Lamb of God. I was a big Lamb of God fan at the time, though. So,
because there was one of those tours right around there too. They had Godsmack.
Godsmack. Oh yeah, okay.
But it wouldn't have been Godsmack, Lamb of God.
Can't say I've seen or maybe ever listened to Godsmack. I'm sorry.
No, you're.
This Arcade Fire show, again, one of my favorite shows ever.
Yep.
Buddy got pissed on.
How does this?
I got in a fight and he got pissed on.
Okay, do tell.
So it was on Center Island in Toronto. So you actually have to take the ferry to get to this island. And Arcade Fire's having the show. It's right after The Suburbs came out. Huge album. First time seeing them, they had the Sadies open and Janelle Monáe. She was doing this awesome suit and tie performance at the time, well before she even really got famous. But so we got to the island pretty early in the morning. I want to say like 10 or 11. So we were literally one of the first people in line at the gate. And then they opened the gate at, I don't know, 1 or 2 or something. And it was just this stampede of people running to try and claim their spot at the stage. And we got there. We were right there at the front. It was like just an unbelievable experience. But there were also some, other people who were very rowdy and annoying. And at one point,
which wouldn't be typical of the Arcade Fire crowd, would it?
I don't think so. But at one point, I got in a screaming match with there were these 2 girls and this guy, and they were just kind of, I don't know, they're losers. And they were stepping on my feet, like purposely getting in my way. It was a really weird scene. And then security actually noticed and came and tossed them out. Half hour later, they come back, and one of these girls just standing over my buddy's foot and just let it go. Let it go. And I just remember I'm watching the Arcade Fire.
But did he see it, or did he feel the drip first?
So I'm watching the Arcade Fire. He's on the railing to my left. And I just remember hearing him go, "What the fuck?" And I look over, and he's just looking down at his foot, and he's been pissed on. Yeah. I guess that happens.
Wow. No, side story. So we had a show that we went to. And this won't surprise you. I'll tell you all the events that went down during the show, and then I'll tell you who the band was. And you'll be like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. But we had nearly every bodily fluid sprayed on us that you could possibly have sprayed on you.
Gross.
At a show.
And it wasn't guar.
And it was not guar. So we were on the floor for this one. It was an open general admission floor. And the first thing that had happened was the same dude just drank too much, had to take a piss, so we were right against the boards.
Oh, okay.
Didn't get any on us, but we turned around and looked at it like, is that guy pissing? And he was just sitting there, back to the show, pissing away, big puddle on the concrete floor.
Could he see the stage?
He was looking into the crowd, so he wasn't even looking at the show at this point. And I think, I don't know, maybe he was trying to hide from security a little bit, but they never noticed.
Yeah.
So there's the piss. And then a fight broke out between these 2 dudes.
Yeah.
And one of the girlfriends tried to get involved.
Oh.
And an elbow came back and catches her. So me and Jamie Rankin, who we worked with, was there together. So Rankin's trying to pull this one guy off of her. I'm trying to get the other guy out of the way, and there's just blood everywhere. And this is just a disaster. And we're like 5 songs into the set of this band. Then a more opportune ballad comes around, and we turn around, and the couple that are behind us are basically dry humping.
Oh, my God.
Like, they're like so going at it that I do believe there was maybe a little bit of wet seeped through in that. So, and then the typical somebody drank too much and started throwing up all over the floor in front of us. So is there any other bodily fluids that could have been involved that weren't? So we had blood, puke, jizz, and piss.
I'm just trying to think of what band it could have been.
So what band would this have been? Where is that all going to go down on the floor?
It was in Calgary. It was at the Dome.
It was in Calgary at the Dome.
Already a disgusting place.
And we had already had our safe word. When this one, we knew that there was one particular element of the show that was going to happen, and we said as soon as that element of this show happens, we're out of here. Because it's pretty cheesy.
Cheesy? Like, huh. I gotta say, I think I've heard this story before, and I might be stumped. It's not like Steel Panther, is it?
No, no, but that's a pretty good guess.
Was it Van Halen?
No.
One more guess.
One more guess.
I mean, I want to say what I think is an obvious choice. I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but it
is the obvious choice.
It's going to insult you a little bit.
Oh.
But you also wouldn't have a safe word to leave.
There's not, and we talked about this a little bit. No, it was not Motley Crue, although that is a very good guess as well, and I've probably seen a lot of those things go down.
So who was it?
At Motley Crue shows. But the one moment where we could take all that we could take was when the lead singer will have a tray of beers, and he will pass them out to people in front of the crowd, and or before he does that, we'll yell out, "Does everybody know what time it is? It's beer o'clock!" And all the beers come out.
It was Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
Who the hell was it?
Fucking Nickelback.
Oh,
it was a Nickelback show.
I see. He gives out beers, a tray of. What do you mean a tray of beers? Like a cafeteria tray?
And of whatever the solo cups.
He does that.
I think that's I've seen Nickelback twice in my life, and once was very early on, and they did that. That was here at the Century when they were touring Silver Side Up. And I think
greasy.
It was that was a greasy show. So as soon as Beer O'Clock came out, we had headed for the exits that night. However, I think Bush opened that show, and Bush was amazing. I don't like covers, But Bush did a version of Come Together that night, and Gavin took off and he like walked the entire circumference of the Saddle Dome doing Come Together.
That's pretty cool.
Bush was amazing.
Was he lost? He couldn't get back to the
That's what
stage?
he was, yeah, somebody help me get back.
All right. Well, bodily fluids aside, this is another one. Alexis on Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Really like that show.
That would be insane.
That was actually...
And who opened?
Actually, the weird thing about that show is that I think I got this ticket because we knew the openers, or a good friend of mine, Jerica, her friends were opening the show. They're in a band called Mockingbird Wish Me Luck. So I think that was who was opening the show. This was just at the college in Oakville.
Yeah.
In Oakville,
sweet.
Ontario. But the weird thing about this is that it was one of their last shows because I think they went and finished this tour and then took a few months off and then just never played again and then announced that they were done and then they weren't. Anyways.
How long was that? Was that like a 10-year stretch between when they were done and?
No, it was like a year and a half.
Was it just a year and a half? Oh shit!
It's like
okay.
2 years.
Yeah, okay.
Cohen Cambria. This is another one that
you love those guys, right?
meant a lot to me. That was amazing.
And where was that show?
That was at the Cool House, which is now called something different. I forget what it's called.
And how much was that?
This ticket was $32.50.
Yeah.
Just honestly a room not too different from Bose. Just a bit of a bigger floor. The cool thing about this is that they were playing their very first like studio album from front to back, which was unbelievable. Blink-182. I think this was their reunion tour actually. If that makes sense. It was with Weezer and some other losers were opening the show. And then this might be, aside from Starstock, my prized possession.
Oh,
that is going to make you a little jealous.
I fucking hate looking at that so much.
Look at that.
And
Look at the tickets even got character.
Yeah, and that's the tour and everything. Yeah.
The last one, the last White Stripes tour. So there you go. Those are
So what's the embarrassing one in there?
Well, I guess Sugarland and Keith Urban aren't. But you know what? Maybe I already threw those out as a kid or something. I mean, I never saw like.
I see. That's.
Yeah.
There's some sheer embarrassment in this bag, for sure. For sure. I've seen some things. I just love going to shows, right? So I will go to, even if I don't love the band.
Well, what?
I'll go. Well, you got a shit ton more in there. What else?
These are just
Jay's tickets.
These are just.
I've got some sporting tickets there. Like here's a Seattle Mariners, Minnesota Twins.
There you go. Jays and Tampa Bay Rays, 2011.
I was at the 2012 World Junior Championship, which was between Canada and the U.S. And I want to say that's the year that would that have been not Kovalchuk?
Who's that nerd?
Well, that's Fleury.
Oh, okay.
Who was it? Was one of the big Russians, scored like 5 or 6 goals. Canada was up like 5-0, and I think the Russians came back and won it like 6-5.
Yeah, here's a couple Blue Jays tickets for you. Minnesota Twins, are they still a team?
Mariners and Twins.
Crazy.
I had one of the. I was at the 1984 Grey Cup.
1984 Grey Cup.
Damn it! Why did I say the year?
I was a baby. I was 6 months old at the 1984 Grey Cup.
I was so young at the 1984 Grey Cup.
There's an Oilers Leafs ticket from 2009.
Oh,
it's not bad. It's not that long ago, I suppose.
I got some Flames Oilers shit in there. Anyways,
this is, maybe we'll put this up on the screen, but here, I want you to see this first. Take these 2 cards. So that's my driver's license.
Oh, we have to. What?
And then underneath it is my high school.
Nerd.
My high school.
Oh my God! Yes. Wow.
We'll get producer Ryley to take a picture of it.
We will get this blown up, and they've been doing a lot of murals in downtown Red Deer. This needs to be. Why? What? How?
That's just how it grew back then, man. I don't know what to tell you.
That is amazing. And they couldn't be more different. What's the age difference here?
Well, one would have been 16 and the other would have been like, what, 12 or 13? 13 or 14? Probably 13.
Oh, God, that's gorgeous.
There you go.
Some flow.
Just for you.
Did you play sports at all? Like, did you try to cram that under a helmet?
I mean, soccer. I did a little soccer. I was probably playing soccer back then. Maybe a little baseball.
Well, what else you got in that little tickle trunk?
That's it. I just had some sports tickets, some concert tickets. You have
Well, that's what I expected. Well,
at least 3 or 4 times more, right?
yeah. And this, I don't even know if this is all of them. Like,
see, I don't want you to go through it. I don't want you curating it.
I won't.
But I think we got to spend some serious time going through that. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be more. This is a Van Halen wristband.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Which was they had done a stage where they had fans kind of in the middle of the stage and then a walkway that came out, and that was on the. I think Sammy was doing vocals on that tour. Anyways, we were supposed to, when we launched the radio station we were working at in 2004, we were supposed to do this giveaway of having, that was going to be our first big contest, was sending winners to basically be in the stage for a Van Halen show.
Wow.
And we ended up having some delays and couldn't launch the station in time.
Oh, no way.
Still had the prize that we had to give away, or that we had to use.
So you just gave them to your friends?
So myself and the aforementioned Jamie Rankin.
Yeah.
And we stood, I don't know, like 6 feet away from Eddie Van Halen doing his solo that night.
That's unreal.
Tears.
Yeah.
They had just, that was right. So that would have been 2004. And I don't think Van Halen had played in quite some time. And I think maybe that, I can't remember when
they're getting a
his
real good
cancer
pop.
was diagnosed.
Oh, okay.
Might have been around. I just know that Van Halen had been off the road for a while, and it was something pretty magical for them to be back out and doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie had tears rolling down his face.
Well, I think that we should break open your bag next time we just sit and catch up. What do you think?
Rephrase that in some way.
What did I say? Break open your bag.
Break open. Is this a Nickelback concert?
It's bag opening o'clock or whatever the hell he says. I did want to see actually how much, and we'll go back to your.
So I can't go through this. I can't.
I mean, you can
I can't
if you
pre-vet.
want.
Honestly, the only thing that's in here that, like, there are a lot of. I do have a ton of sports tickets.
I paid $28.75 to see the White Stripes on their last tour, by the way.
Done with you. I did see my Jack White, which is where the first time we met was at a Jack White show.
I don't have that ticket because I had a press pass.
I saw it in here somewhere. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that might be kind of fun.
All right, no, don't curate it. Don't take anything out.
Just leave it as is.
I think so. Lay it out all out on the floor. Put your bag on the table.
The 1984 Grey Cup.
When you were 6 months old.
It was so cold.
How would you remember that if you were only a baby?
I have a great memory.
Well, thanks for going through some of my.
No, that's everything to be proud of in there, except for maybe the Harry Potter tin.
Actually, what I don't have in there is the ticket stub from when I went and saw J.K. Rowling read the first chapter of The Goblet of Fire at the Sky Dome.
There it is. At the Sky Dome?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Full Sky Dome? Like,
I'd have to search to see what the attendance was like, but yeah, I think so. Yeah. It was wild.
I've been in that building twice.
Just for baseball?
The first time we were there in the off season. So we went in 90. When did they close the Gardens? 98 was the last year for the Gardens, I think. Yeah. So my dad was a big Leafs fan, so we went out to see a couple of games at the Gardens before they closed it that year. So it would have been like November of 98. And so, yeah, obviously the Jays weren't playing, but we went and did a tour.
Oh,
but
cool.
The WWF was in the night before.
Oh, okay.
So, like, it was just all that stuff was set up in there. And then, I saw the Mariners and Jays 3 years ago. So I've only been in that building twice.
Yeah, I really wanted to go. I kind of wanted to just pop in, pay for like that whatever cheap ticket, and just go in for a few innings on this trip. But they were out of town, somewhere in the States.
I would. Cool. The game I saw there, the roof was closed.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty boring.
Is it?
Building.
Okay.
I didn't have a lot of life to me. I've been to a few stadiums,
baseball houses,
and it's just a big concrete structure. But I think with the roof open, much different story.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, yeah, thanks for going through that and taking it easy on me. Other than that,
I wish I could. That Jack
high
White
school
one,
ID.
The high school ID has got to. Yeah, that will be made very public. Very public.
I was dog shit at taking photos.
Still
am.
You don't say. I mean, now you're great. Everything's much better now.
Yeah. It finally started hanging low. My hair.
Okay.
All right. Well, what do we got?
So what do we? Yeah, we talk about what we got coming up.
We got there's a cool concert coming up at Bose, the Royal Foundry,
September 11th here. If you're in the neighborhood from Edmonton, those guys are great.
Yeah, and then we've got some great guests lined up. Go check out.
Yeah, like why is it just the two of us? Where's the actual interesting person?
The actual interesting person, I don't know. I actually don't know. Do you?
No, I don't.
No. You know,
But
every
I
once
got
in a while
to
we
see
just
a
got
picture of you when you were 6, so I don't care. Or 12, whatever you.
Yeah, we'll say 12. We'll say 12.
Be the highlight. I don't who like out of all the guests that we've had on, I don't know that anything tops that.
Yeah, maybe we should start using that as like. Do we have like avatars or profile pictures for our presence online?
We will now.
Yeah. For sure. Shit, man.
Like, what were you like? Were you like a fan of? I don't even know who.
Of what?
Like, who were you basing that off of?
What do you mean? Who? What were you? What you
I
were
had a
rocking
lo-
a bowl cut when you were 6
Dude,
years old?
I grew up in the '80s, so I think you can
Did
probably
you have a mullet?
guess what I looked like.
Did you have a mullet?
Fucking right, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan's got a mullet right now, actually, as a matter of fact. Yeah. No. I don't know. I just, it's just I liked the bounce.
And nobody was like, dude,
No, I don't think so.
because that would have been pretty. Nobody else in your school had that style.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I guess at the end of the day, if you can do it, fucking do it.
Well, I can't anymore.
No, but
I did
do it
have.
while you
I
can.
did have in grade 7 or 8. So still elementary school. I did have a classmate's mom ask me if I went to get perms. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
this is natural.
Yes, with that much disdain.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a lot of fun. So bring it next time. Bring this, but also please bring a grades. Bring her like a grade 8 or a grade 9
I
picture.
will
if
find
you can.
something that will not nothing's gonna rival that.
Well, you just said
per
you had
se,
a mullet.
but I did have a perm.
Did you actually?
That was.
What do you mean you had a perm?
It was the '80s,
Okay, all right.
like a full blown.
I'm
I'll see
sick
if I
of
can
that-
find that.
I'm sick of that excuse, by the way. It was the 80s.
That's just what we did.
Oh man, do I get to say that? It was the 90s? It was the
That
early
was
2000s.
2000s.
It was the early 2000s.
No, that's not an excuse because there was nobody else doing that in the early 2000s.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm sure there was someone in the Mars Volta had.
Well, that's very Mars Volt. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Not that I was listening to them at the time, but hey, it is what it is. All right, man. Well, yeah, what else we got?
Well, let's plug the things we need to
The
plug.
friends of the show,
friends of the show.
friends of the road, the stage, Go Services.
At this
Inc.
point, do you have to still look it up?
Yes. I'm just making sure.
Yeah. No.
Check
Check
mark?
it. Check. Yep. Go Services Inc. Who? Yeah.
Another time.
Another time.
Okay.
Another time. I know there's some plans. There's some things. When
Okay.
You were in Ontario.
Oh.
I was chatting with the Go Services folks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So
All right.
We'll chat more later.
Perms.
Yes.
Porta potty.
Porta potty perms.
Okay.
Porta potty perms.
Sawback.
Get a perm while you're. Yes.
Sawback.
Sawback Brewing
You
Company.
enjoyed any Sawback lately?
I continue to always enjoy.
I was missing some
fruits of-
Sawback in Ontario.
You know what? I'll be honest. There wasn't anything that really screamed at me from the craft beer scene,
I had a revelation
Ontario?
about craft beer in Ontario.
which was
I think that as long as you have a cool can, you're getting away with murder.
1,000%.
Because my brother and I, we bought some craft beers. I didn't know any of the breweries. Bought some, mostly based on that they were IPAs. They were stronger, cool cans. Dog shit beer, every single one of them.
Yeah.
Terrible. And I'm noticing that more and more.
And you have to honestly be careful of that
Yeah.
because there's a reason why they decorate the can.
Yeah, exactly. So we should just start brewing our own beer and make the can cool.
Which, if you'll notice, is not the case with Sawback. They've got a real clean, simple look, logo,
Beautiful.
name of the beer.
Yeah, so shout out to them. Shout out to Bose.
Yeah, you missed some good times.
For sure, but yeah, just make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, Bose Barn Stage YouTube channel, please. Do it.
Good stuff there. And again, just a great venue if you're coming to visit Red Deer.
Yeah.
Find a show, find a band that you don't know anything about, and just
Yeah.
come and check it out because Red Deer crowds are pretty awesome.
And if you are coming to visit Red Deer, it might interest you in checking out Tourism Red Deer, because if you are coming to Red Deer and you're not from Red Deer, you are a tourist.
They happen to be located in the same facility as the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame and Museum.
Cool.
Somebody out there is like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
One.
I need to get into museums more. But anyways, yeah, shout
They
out to all
also
them.
have interactive shit like the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh,
that
do
you
they?
can-
Okay,
go-
cool.
We should go test your hardest shot.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I might be away that day. All right, man. Well, yeah, next week we've got a great guest.
We've got lots of great guests lined up.
Yeah, and lots of fun shows. And Side Road Sessions, damn it. Check them out. YouTube.
Bo's Barn Stage, youtube.com/Bo's Barn Stage. Could not be easier.
Yeah, and review us wherever you might like to review your podcasts.
Get ready for another episode next Wednesday.
The Road, the Stage is produced by Ryan Kuly and Ryley Surian at the Communal Creative Studios in Red Deer, Alberta. In partnership with Go Services Inc., Sawback Brewing Co., Tourism Red Deer, and Bo's Bar and Stage.